And we're live. We're live. What do you think? I feel alive. Big hey now to everybody. Welcome. Welcome to my stream and my next conversation with the Fast Abdul, who I really had no idea he was from Canada when I first saw him, but now I know.
Assumptions.
I know assumptions are terrible. You know what they say about assumptions. And for you, Beached Whale, I've got a cigar that I'm going to smoke tonight because I missed my Thursday night one. I don't know if I'll smoke it on stream. But Don Carlos, I see that. I see that. Well, let's go ahead and we'll just jump right into a couple different things. I don't know. I don't really have anything off the chart drama wise and whatnot. But we do have some new developments. One thing that we wanted to mention tonight, let's see. The 4th annual online Pulsechain Conference is currently being scheduled by Maddie Allen for August 15th to the 17th. And so if you are interested in speaking, mark your calendar. Get a hold of him through the Twitter spaces. I'm sure he's out there looking for speakers. And then if you're interested in watching, mark your calendars. And then if I'm not mistaken, right after the 4th annual Pulsechain Conference, Fast Abdul, what happens then?
Well, RH Max is doing not a conference, but 5 days of HEX fun. So he'll have speakers every day for 5 days. And what are the dates there? Let me double check. We got 18th to the 22nd.
Week of HEX, right?
Yep.
So
we'll
that's
have Pulsechain Conference is what, 3 days, and then 5 days of HEX after that.
There's a lot of streaming. A lot of streaming going on all there. That's good though. It's good timing for that to get it out there.
Totally.
Oh. So what else is going on, guys? What do you want to talk about? I see Tam in the so I'll tell you the funniest thing that happened this week for me, had me laughing. Many people have seen the persona, aka Tam.
Yeah.
Right. And in many different chats. And I don't know why we do this, but whatever, man. Whenever we have alleged women who join, man, all sorts of weird stuff happens. So, anyways, like when Hot Pearl started, everybody thought she was a bot. She had to come online and prove that she wasn't a bot, that type of thing. But I saw the funniest thing. Now I've known Tam through the internet, right, and on the phone for I don't know a year or so.
Yeah.
So like I know she's a real person. But holy crap, it was so funny. I pick up my phone and I'm looking, and I see this post from Rackham, and I'm like, what controversy is he talking about? Now I had heard a little inkling of it, but people came up with this conspiracy theory that Tam is actually Maddie Allen.
Right.
So I can neither confirm nor deny that myself personally. But so I will not speak on it any further. Oh my, I was dying when I read that. But I just came
pretty confident that's not true. Like I've never met Tam in person, but I've met Maddie in person, and I think Tam talks on some of the group conference calls and stuff. It's just I'm pretty sure it's not Maddie.
Yeah, well, it is pretty good fake if it is.
Like there's that thing in crypto where people basically just shit on the women, especially like attractive women, just get like attacked by the community until they can prove what, I'm not sure, but it's it's not my favorite thing.
Yeah, I must not be an attractive woman. Well, that being said, well, I might be attractive to you. You mean you're Canadian? Yeah. So
I'm getting older. Really, the spectrum is much larger than it used to.
Hey, listen, I like that I can be fluid now, so I do whatever I want. You can't even give me a hard time. All right, well, enough with the jokes. Right? Let me kind of move on. What other dramas are going on out there? Oh, this is a good one. Did you see the tweet? The tweet. Now, I was like, what the F are these people talking about? But did you see the tweet from Richard?
Which one? Oh yeah,
Why
yeah, with
you only did
the
one.
virgins and the child rearing advice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the part about cutting babies. I mean, cakes in half. You see that part?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a good one.
You know, so I thought I'd be smart. I was like, well, all of a sudden I see this big flash of people, right? I guess I should probably pull this up. I'm unprepared, folks. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Here,
pull it.
I got it right here. If you like, crispy.
Yeah, let's pull it up and we'll read it word for word. This way, it's not just some sort of crispy magic words, right? All right, I'm gonna take us off screen. Maybe make this a little bit bigger.
Bang.
Right. And so some people took this for a number of different messages. I mean, these are all good messages. I don't know if you'd seen it, but I just put out a couple of checklists to people in different groups that I'm in, kind of going over some of the same things, like reduce your risk, you know, on making transactions by doing things like splitting, you know. And so he does go through like don't always send everything in one transaction, don't have all your tokens in one wallet, have multiple wallets. I mean, these things. So he's got this long tweet, but I want you to go to the bottom. He even talks about bridging, right? Mitigate bridge risk by doing different things, right? But this is it. You see the bottom there? The part that says
The PS random.
PS random. I don't know who random was at first, but then I realized you just meant random.
I'm
If
pretty
you
sure.
want to have two kids divide a cake evenly amongst themselves, have the first kid cut and the second kid choose. How about that? How about
What do you think it means?
I thought he was talking about cake.
Oh, okay. Well, that works.
That's what I thought. So I saw that and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know what he means, but okay. So then I don't know. Did you see the flurry of posts afterwards and the different media storms going on where people saying, "Oh, he's talking about EHEX." Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Some of them might have
And I heard
interpreted.
EHEX, PDI,
Yeah,
various
somebody
things.
might have. So I thought I was being a smartass. I was like, man, I don't even know where people get this stuff from. Like, how could you read into that? All right. So I guess what I did. I went to the ultimate authority in the world on Richard Hart. I went to Chat GPT because Chat GPT is very smart. And I posted that in.
Wrong.
I posted that in. I dropped it in there. I said, "Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this?" And so first it came back with a series of answers, making very much sense. You know, be careful with your wallet, guard your keys, make sure you're splitting, use a condom, blah, 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 blah. And it gets down to the very last part. It says, well, when you split the cake, if the first person does the cut, they're going to try to make it fair so that when the second person chooses, right, each party gets a equal size. I said, see, I was right. But then this is where the problem came in. I typed in right after that, how does this apply to, do you see any connection between this and the EHEX HEX debate? And man, it gave me half a page of yes. It was like yes,
you could have put in a lot of things.
Yeah, but it was like yes, this perfectly outlines that the choice needs to be made by the community. So I don't know if somebody loaded up Chat GPT with a bunch of information or what, but I was impressed. My girlfriend Chat GPT, she was like, yes, this perfectly applies to that. And the use of the choice of the market, deciding EHEX versus PX. So well, there you go.
I think you could have put in how does this apply to biochemistry? And ChatGPT may have also given you
It may have
the whole
also
thing.
said that. It may have also said that. They may have said that too.
It likes to talk,
Yeah.
it doesn't it never has no answer. It always gives you a answer. It's just not always the right answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it really means to me, but I got it. Hex Monkey saying he thought Tim was a bot too until the day he got a hook. All right, Jazztown. Yeah, people have nothing better to do. Yeah, I think that's somewhat true. Jazz, for sure. I mean, just like, got to keep the drama rolling. Entertain. Are you not entertained? Now, that's one of the reasons I started this new side effort that I'm working on, which is this crypto stories channel, because people just want to tell stories. So let's give them a place to tell stories. You want to go listen to them and read about them? You do that. Oh, yes. Welcome back from Shanghai, Mr. Corey Geary.
Chris here for the gains. I'm here for the tech. Let's look something up.
What's re-engineered tech? What's that mean?
It's maybe when you fork something and make it better.
You don't fork me, I fork you.
That's fork you, mother forker.
Yeah, you forkers. I'm gonna create a new protocol called fork, and then I'm gonna improve on it by call it a 2 fork.
Nice.
And then we'll do a song. 1 fork, 2 fork. You get it. All right.
I do.
What else? What else we got out here? Anything else we need to put up here? Hey, thanks, Robert, for sharing this out to other people. Yeah, Hex Monkey. I don't know if RH is really playing 5D meme chess or just I'm becoming insane. For waiting around too long. So, far out aliens. You're funny ass. I don't know if it might be code. I don't know. Somebody decode. He's talking in code to Rackham about the Interpol and Saudi connection and the QPOS. Maybe. I can neither confirm nor deny that any of this stuff is actually true. You make me laugh though, man. Hello, hold pressure. Oh yeah. Wreck the riches. Yeah. Anybody listen to Wonder lately? I haven't listened the last week or two. Man, he had me cracking up. You know who Crypto Wonder is?
No, he's not on my list.
So he was he was the previous crack of the week last week or whatever. So Crypto Wonder's been part of the community for a long time. He's his own streams and whatnot. Man, after Richard had come out talking about the sell pressure, he went on such a rant. I was dying, man, watching that thing. You go check him out when you get a chance. That's where I'm getting the sell pressure from. A lot of people are doing that. That was not just him, but sell pressure and what's going on with that. Let's see if we can get through the rest of these little comments. We'll move on to your screen next. Delusional interpretations and narratives again. Yeah, Hex Monkey. I guess if it's not my interpretation, it must be delusional. But mine are not delusional. I think that's what a lot of people are thinking. I think that. He's saying I'll pay off the community in cash if the EHEX versus PHEX repetitive nonsense goes away. Well, thank you, Godwill.
Indeed.
Pay
Hex Monkey is Godwill? That's news.
Well, he's God something. God Monkey. Crypto Kong, welcome for coming in. Crypto Orange. We'll get to talk to him a little bit about his Christmas Club token. And then Hex Monkeys, finally. I like Crypto Wonder until every minute of the stream became insulting community members. Yeah, that may be true. I don't know. I haven't been listening the last couple of weeks, like I said.
It's okay. Streamers are, influencers are crazy people. Sometimes they go off the handle. They come back. It's, they can have a bad day. It's okay.
Yeah. I guess so. As long as I'm not the target. It's okay. All right, what do you want to talk about? Throw this up on the stage or what?
Sure. This is my news item of the week.
Oh,
so
LibertySwap.
LibertySwap. The ink dollar.
Oh yeah.
Got added to LibertySwap, so you can trade directly from Base, Arbitrum, BNB, Ethereum, etc., right into ink dollars. Which of course are minted using ink via inkprinter.com. So pretty happy with that. That's going to be a good liquidity boost and just an easy way for people to get in. And you can see here at the time when I posted this, there was even a small arbitrage in terms of dollars. So if I don't know if that'll persist, but there could be opportunity.
I saw that. I was like, man, Fast really picked that number good.
Indeed. That was I think that was probably the first one to check it out. So likely that's been snapped up, but yeah, pretty happy about that. And I think people in general seem happy. I got 22,000 views on that, lots of shares, lots of likes. So LibertySwap stepping up to add community tokens. In this case, another stablecoin. I think they have all the liquidity fork stablecoins now. So USDL, PXDC, HEXDC, and now INCD. So that's all the liquidity forks that are backed by Richard Hart core tokens for collateral are now on LibertySwap. You can trade directly to them from Base, Arbitrum, BNB, Ethereum. I think that's all of them. But yeah, happy with these LibertySwap guys.
Very nice. Yeah, the index, the solid index got put up there too.
That's right.
It really is humbling that, number one, you were such a huge influencer out there. Number one.
Geez.
And then number two, just it's a little humbling trying to figure out, like, how do I personally market outside to groups that are outside the Pulsechain, right? Because I really don't have much of a calling outside of the Pulsechain, and specifically even in HEX, that's kind of what I'm involved in. So, but I do see LibertySwap. Let's talk about that. So I don't, not casting any shadow on them. They're been very engaged. Just don't know much about them. Just don't know much
That's
about
true.
them.
And Richard posted about them, but like he posted, "Hey guys, what do you think of this sort of thing?" So we don't have, a direct correlation, where he said this is okay. But so far they've seemed like they're towing the line.
Yeah. And I think that's probably, I don't think Richard, maybe, though they were one of the first ones to respond to him about the bridge comments in his post. I don't think he was specifically calling them out, but I mean, just in general, yeah. I mean, if you go to, if you go to do swaps or trades or bridging, and it's something new, doing it from a fresh wallet is condom-like, right? And doing things like test transactions, if it makes sense, is probably a good practice. And splitting up transactions, splitting up transactions. I know it's a pain in the ass sometimes, but did we even talk about it last week here, or did this happen after? The two examples this week, one where somebody through connected chat summon accidentally paid almost 80 million Pulse for a transaction. So that happened this week.
We didn't talk about that. How did they manage to pay that for a transaction?
It's unclear, but there are times where on MetaMask, and I've even seen some very high numbers even on Rabby at times, but there are times where if you're messing around with settings or whatnot, you could accidentally come on to hit at a right point where you've just done something that creates those numbers to go up. Or there are other times where it just gets bad information,
Possible.
So I always think it's really important to follow the STAR process, right? Stop, think, act, review. STAR, stop, think, act, review. I'm going to spell it in English, right? Anyways, but just you guys can guess what that is. Well, if you see something that looks kind of funny, stop, think about what you're doing before you act, and then review
to pay 80 million Pulse, you'd have to accept that transaction. So it does appear on your screen. This is the gas price. Do you want to proceed? Yeah. That's I'm paraphrasing. So somebody there've been a few
times where I had to catch myself and go cancel, reject right away, right? Because I was like, I thought I saw one thing and it was something else, and so it's important to kind of tackle that. And kind of in the same vein as this is another guy reported sending 30 grand worth of stables to the stable contract. Now, in either case, well, definitely in the latter case, going to send in stables to the contract, you're not getting it back, right? It's just not possible. So, and it's very easy to do in the moment, because now, a lot of these things you just hover over something and click on it and it copy pastes the address, right? And if you thought the address you were going to paste was your, the send address or the wallet address, you can instead, you put down the token.
He's probably trying to send to one of his own wallets, and maybe he copied the stable code. Because on Pulsechain, let's say you were using a Rabby wallet, well, and you want DAI from Ethereum code, like to send from your wallet to another one of your wallets, DAI from Ethereum no longer automatically appears in Rabby Wallet. So you'd have to go get that contract number, add it to Rabby Wallet, at which point you would have, it would be saved in your cache, and then and then you'd put in the wallet you want to send it to. And if you thought you copied your wallet after copying the DAI address, but you didn't, and you inputted the DAI address twice, then you could send $30,000 to a contract that there's no way anybody could get it back. So that would suck.
Yep, 100%, dude. Now, in the transaction example, there is an extremely slim 0.00001% chance that you could actually get your pulse back. But that payment went out to a single person who received that tip. So I should say, right. Single wallet that received that tip. Validator wallet, and if they happen to have seen, your plea that, hey, please give me my money back, I pushed a button by accident, and they were inclined to do it, they could actually send it back, but likelihood's low, right? Because why would you even see that? Plus, you're in the business of validating to get that. Now, I guess if I saw it, I'd probably send it back, but
you would know something was wrong, but that's even if they're paying attention to the day-to-day. Like, I think most people running validators aren't going transaction by transaction. That guy's just going to look and be like, oh, I made a lot this week or this month, right? And he'll be unlikely to drill down, it's
it's difficult. It's difficult to get to the data. We got the validator guys out there. I can't remember the name of them. I think you're in the chat with it, but they have a validating dashboard that you can sign up for, and I can go get the data manually, but I'm never looking to go look and see exactly what happened on each one. There are some bots that are out there to do it, like the Up and UpX guys do it, so that's there. But yeah. So I guess what's the moral of all these stories?
Slow down.
Slow down, double check. If you got a checklist, you feel like you can write yourself a checklist, write a checklist and follow it. All right.
And don't just regular life rules. If it applies to driving, it probably applies to crypto. Like, don't crypto when you're tired. Don't crypto when you're drunk. Don't crypto when you're high. Like, that's all these things can lead to mistakes.
Oh man, I have a short story I was going to write. The gas was high and so was I. How about that?
There we go. That's a good start.
Yeah, but that's part of
when you're angry.
Well, that's part of the story. That's part of potentially the story of how some of these big mistakes are made. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody has not experienced drunk transactions, but you probably heard of somebody who has.
For sure. And at the level of DeFi that some of us are doing, you cannot be impaired. Like, you can't be mad. You can't be sad. Like, you need to be on your game. If you're not on your game, walk away. Press the buttons another day. That rhymed. I didn't mean it to, but it's cool that it did.
That sounded pretty good. Maybe we should put that to some music, man. Falcon Crypto. I'm not sure what you mean by what is the YouTube channel you're on. This one happens to be Hexfire. Maybe you're talking about the crypto FEA.
He's on Twitter. He's looking at he's watching on Twitter. So search Hexfire on YouTube, sir.
IO. Yeah. Hexfire IO on here. Yep. All right, Dukes of Booze. I pluralized you. Cheers. No, we're not waiting another. We are not waiting another 52 weeks.
Dukes of Booze. He was on with Mr. Kenobi and DJ on, I can't remember what, I want to say Discord Syndicate. And Dukes of Booze totally looks like Luke Skywalker, like 100%. Like, when I first saw it, I thought he was Luke Skywalker.
Funny. All right, Falcon Crypto saying, hello guys, no more game theory. No game theory tonight, but look for Matty all in the beginning of September, mid-September, to see what he may have in mind. Let's see. All right, on the mistakes topic, making mistakes is different from losing to a scammer. I don't know which one's worse, man, but I think I'd feel dumber. How would I feel? I'd probably feel worse making a mistake of my own rather than being helped.
they're kind of the same thing in a lot of ways. Like if you're talking a scam, like something's a rug pull, then that's, that's different. But if you're talking like you sent someone your seed phrase, like you made a mistake, those kind of security OPSEC things, that's another, like if you're not sure where you're clicking, don't click there. It's definitely a mistake.
I believe in yourself. I am glad that we could help you.
Indeed.
Remember that song and get it rolling in your head. If I could play it for you, I'd play it for you. So you could just like hear it over and over again on repeat. All right. Well, I know everybody else is waiting for the big announcement, the huge announcement. Yeah. We're going to talk to you about one of the greatest things we've ever heard of. One of the greatest members of the Pulse chain that's ever been seen. And it's none other than Xavier.
Indeed. The new president of the Pulsechain community.
Who's Xavier?
He just showed up a week or two ago and started talking about Pulsechain. He has,
I like that. I like
just
that
about
part.
500K followers on Twitter. Seems to have a pretty good reach in different communities like XRP and stuff. And he's a pretty funny guy. So he does his own work, like this image where he declared himself as the president, and he keeps it lively. There's been some controversy.
I was thinking Xavier Bond, but okay.
That's good too. I'm sure he could roll with that. But I so far I've been watching him, and it seems overall good. Like he mostly just seems to post about Chorus. He posted about LibertySwap. He posted about plsstart.me. Sort of some like main tools and sites and things on the Pulse chain. He hasn't got into meme coins much and things like that. So, but he's definitely posting general interest things about all kinds of stuff. Like cat videos and stuff. He's pulling in a different audience than what most of us have. Somi talked about him this morning, which is great.
Oh, did he really?
So why not?
Probably he might be direct competition. I don't know.
No. In a way, he could be Somi. It could be one of Somi's alt accounts for all we know.
Yeah, it might be him as well. Well, hey, welcome, Xavier. Listen, guys, for those listening that want to go super negative and Nova pretty fast, more attention on Pulse Chain's good. I haven't seen anything bad from the guy. The only thing I had to say to him was one Xavier is equal to one Xavier. How about that?
Deal.
Right. I passed out along. And Crypto Orange says Xavier's tweets, his tweets are very, very twitty. They're twitty. I mean witty.
Witty. I think he's going witty there. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're usually kind of funny. So, and he's got that Indian persona, which may or may not represent the actual person that he makes be hilarious and possibly a racist way. And people seem to like it. So let's go.
Yep. And J.A. Soul's asking, who is my friend Sami? Who is my friend Sami? That's exactly it, man. Who is Sami? Do we really know?
Indeed.
He might be the bot. Might not be Tim. He might be the bot. So
maybe Tam is actually Sami. Have you considered that?
Yeah, it might be Sami might be a lizard man. I don't know. He keeps posting all these pictures of lizard eyes, so I was thinking maybe it might be one of them. I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, right. So what else is happening? I got a couple things to flash, and no, I'm not taking my shirt off. Here's a couple. Let me bring them up on my screen, and I'll share them out. A couple of new things are under development, and these are untested. I don't know a lot about them yet, types of things. So let's start with Unity. Have you heard about Unity yet?
Sounds familiar, but no.
It sounds familiar. Sorry, I got to throw you off the screen for a second here, baby. Unity.win. So, hey, due diligence, guys. But I'm showing for awareness because pretty cool that all sorts of new things are coming. Right. So we'll do some exploring together. All right, so this is new kind of a staking protocol, something called Unity, coming from Cryptographics. I guess he's been involved in Titanex community and some other communities on the Ethereum side, but this is specifically for Pulsechain. So this is coming, and I don't know enough really to explain it to anybody. So I don't want to go too far out there, but I find it pretty cool that, you know, like a couple of days are going by and then all of a sudden there's something else rolling out for Pulsechain, you know, and this one has to do with a number of mechanisms, tokenomics within it, where you can stake the token that you love and get a return token and be able to keep it there and earn yield on it, et cetera, et cetera. So again, people got to go research this stuff if you ever want to look at it, but that's coming along. I saw that. Then
is this something that he launched previously for Titanex?
And now it's brand new, man.
It's good, completely different thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's new. You know, I mean, you know, it's not Alti, but so that's coming. All right, and this other one.
This is from Cryptographics, right?
Yeah, Cryptographics. Yeah, you remember a couple weeks? You remember a couple weeks ago there was suddenly a lending platform that came up, and they put the solid index on there.
I remember, yeah, they came out of nowhere. I didn't know much about it when it came up. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is probably not helpful. It's much prettier if I look at the actual website. But then there's another new protocol called Better Bank.
Yeah,
looks like that's coming.
The P-Data Bros have been talking about this one.
Yeah. So again, guys, on this stream, we're not doing any analysis on this. They're so new, don't even know where to start really. But I mean, it's good to be hearing about them, you know, and seeing them out there. All right, but there's this new revolutionary DeFi lending protocol that's coming out. So we got that going on. I don't know.
What is it a fork of? Do you know?
That I don't know. I don't know if that's. I don't know. Let's see what else we got out here. All right, and JMO Crypto says Cryptographics launched Taurus on ETH. You know what? I'll pull that chart up. I'm not really even doing anything on ETH at this point, but I looked at the chart when he sent me the note today. The chart looks really good. I mean, as far as what the charts look like, you know. So let's pull up the old Taurus. I'll pull the Taurus up. All I can think of is Dr.
Taurus, was that Cryptographics project as well?
Apparently, yeah. It's just
okay.
It's like 26 days old or something. 26 days. Let me pull this guy up and share it. Do I want to share the screen? I do. Boink. Okay. So this is a Taurus Titanex pool that's out. There's the only one that I really found here, but I thought this is pretty interesting, you know, for this many days. You know, looking pretty good. You know, a lot of times, depending on how the launch goes, right? You see that big, wick up on the launch day, and then the big wick down. A lot of times, you know, you don't end up with follow through, you know. So you have that type of situation.
Yeah, you'd have to be steady as nice.
Yeah. So that's really all I had on that. Just to flash that chart up there. All right. What else, Mr. Fast Abdul? What do you guys in the chat want to talk about? I'm just thinking so hard about how important it is to stake HEX, you know. So I do that all the time because I try not to bug people out. I did a nice stream last night on Solidex, just like the opportunity of Solidex.
Okay. And you went over the bot and the the game and stuff like that?
Yeah, a little bit, you know, on that stuff. I mean, I didn't actually like show the game or anything, but that stuff's coming. We're probably still some time out before they get final approval on and all that. But I was looking at the Solidex price. Now, you may not remember this, but a couple weeks ago, I did a buy video on Solidex, just saying, hey, listen, this really looks like it's the time. And because we were way at the bottom. We're still really close to the bottom. But let me pull the chart up to show people where we're at. And so,
yeah, Solidex. Well, it's still up from a couple weeks ago when you did the video. I think it was what, like $9 then?
yeah, it's a little bit cheaper. Yeah. But here's our this is on the 3-day for Solidex, right? And so you put on log and auto. So you can kind of see that in the USD price, and it was coming down, kind of bottomed out back here in the March timeframe. We started getting buy signals in March saying, hey, it might be a good time to buy. And then we had a little bit up, a little bit down. And then these are very TA technical terms, up, down. You got to follow that stuff. If
Yeah,
you
you need a
get
thesaurus to really understand what's going on sometimes.
But I think what we've really seen at this point is that the Solidex price has now come up, above what I would consider to be the minimum for Mayer multiple, which is comparing the ratio of the price. So it's almost 1-to-1 with the 200-day moving average. And I don't have that up here on the screen, but just picking out that it's an opportunity. And so why would I even talk about this, right? So maybe some people don't know, but there's like $26 million in liquidity, between Solidex and the cores. Maybe it's a little bit less. Maybe it's 20 million with the cores on Pulsechain. And the point about that is whatever the chain does, Solidex is doing. So somebody pulls out those pulls down and makes a change. So whatever the chain does, Solidex is going to do. So I've been watching that and how that's been going along. I think another big one over the last couple weeks that's been kind of fun to watch has been this Helgo token, which is very hex centric.
Super bonded with hex. I think, are they the biggest hex pools?
Yeah. I mean, it's like $4 million with hex. If I can get it.
$5.8 million against is the total liquidity pool for the main one.
I think even
it's big.
Yeah. I think even being here on on the stream is enough to mess things up. So if I just look on, I'm going to switch it to 3-day again. We'll go look at 3 days. This is USD price since launch on 3 days. So not bad, right? Not bad. I mean, this is not the kind of chart that people would just go gaga off of and be like, oh, well, it was at the bottom. And now it's up at 12x, right? Because people looking for those 100x's and all this other stuff. But that's during this period of time, 11x in USD is very good, very, very good. But now here's the real kicker: is this whole hex side of it. I switch over to hex. Look at that chart. Totally different chart, right? Because USD kind of muddies the waters. Look at that. Up until a couple of days ago, somebody took some profits and whatnot. This thing's just been going up into the moon, against hex, which is what it's designed to do.
Nice. I think they have like a yield function of some sort, don't they? Where like Helgo holders get hex. Does that sound about right?
Well, I don't believe Helgo holders themselves do. What
liquidity
what you can do. You can provide liquidity, and this stream's probably not the best stream to get into the details, but you provide liquidity and you're able to earn additional hex and Helgo.
There we go. It's not just bonded liquidity that affects the price. Is what I'm getting at. There's some there's some magic behind it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, hold on one second. I'm going to drop one of my screens because something's making me laggy. Are you seeing me being laggy? Maybe not, if you can't even hear me.
Yeah, no, you're a bit laggy.
Right. I dropped some stuff off my computer now. Maybe a little bit better. I can see my own lips moving. That's better. Yeah, Kyle, they do get help. HELLP. It's not a token though. Though it may be a token, it actually is a token, I think, but it's not a traded token. You get that in your wallet, and you're able to turn that in. So there you
Those
go.
guys should get their own stream one day to go over the mechanics. They've been around, just about day one Pulsechain, I think.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Yeah, it's been almost day one. It was way early. It was way early on launch than when they launched. At one point, I went in early with a small amount, but so I'm not a big player in there at all now. But I did, I've been looking at their little guide of animals and whatnot. They have some funny names like Dodgy Dog and Goat Herders and all this other stuff. So I think they're kind of funny. But so the Helgo's been doing its thing. Let's see, what do we got on the top tokens that are making some noise today? So Bria, I don't know if you guys saw this one. Bria came out, and this is a BRIAH, which is a Rackham Rochelle adjacent token named
I think
after his
it's
dog.
his dog. That's the
And
theme.
it's named after his dog.
It's his dog is the theme. So there's been fighting online between Bria and Peacock supporters about which is the better mascot, I guess.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So I see that going on. And then what else we got on the list here? And things I'm seeing. So yeah, I did see the Peacock come out. I saw that was doing some thousands of X's. I don't know much about what's going on. I think both of them are pump tires, right?
Yeah, they are.
I did see Rabby come up, and look at that. I don't know what hex that is. I don't know if that's a real one or not. I'd have to click on it. Go through, and then Alamo made big splashes today. It's another token that came out. Don't know much about that one. And then the one I do know a little bit about is that Fitzgerald company that continues to rise, trying to fulfill their 10,000x call of going from 10,000x from the bottom, and that's just been really just a straight up kind of a ride.
It's impressive. I really don't understand how or why, but it is impressive.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive. I mean, they're just doing their thing with it.
But that's a pump tires launch as well, right? Or there's no code.
Yeah.
So it's like
well, he had presented at the conference, right?
Totally. Yeah.
And he was talking about that. I mean, they're just the idea that they're handling the token like a business. They're managing the the number of tokens and the buy versus sell pressure, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been continuing to go up. Based on their original calcs, I think it's got like a 3 to like 20x still in it.
Yeah. Not bad.
For the Web OG followers out there, I don't know anything about this. I'm away from the chats for a couple days, and it says OG is doing a Finvest at 10K biggest buy contest right now on Pulsechain. Ends 12 p.m. Eastern, August 6th. That means I don't know what the rules are, but it seems like you have to spend a lot of money to be the biggest to get $10,000 worth of tokens. So that's what that looks like. Far out aliens. A TFC is pumped. And then right before that, what kind of dog is a Bria? Well, the name is Bria.
I believe it's a Belgian Malamute, perhaps.
Is it Malamute or Mala? Get the pronunciation, but it's the shepherd-like dog that is
Malinois, Belgian Malinois, Belgian Shepherd, aka.
Yeah, a little bit smarter, a little bit more capable. So pretty cool there. All right. So anybody's interested in Web OG stuff, go check that out. You interested in Rackham and what he's doing with his tokens and whatnot? You follow him up on the X. I know he's been pretty active. And what do you have for me next? What else you got?
Yeah, chat. Ask
some questions. That took 45 minutes just to get through this stuff.
Indeed. See, we have Kyle in the chat. he launched some sort of AI dealie. Let's take a look at that.
Some sort of AI dealio.
Yeah.
I'll be right with you. I don't think I can share anything again because I'm getting jammed, baby.
Okay, I'll do the sharing. But he's got yeah, you can build your own stats page for any token by simply selecting the stat you want to see. It's embedded in your site. Open it in your browser anytime. You can have Pulsechain AI this week. All suggestions welcome. So check out Kyle Cruz's page. And yeah, he's got some stuff going on there. It's also the founder of superstake.win. And here it is, Pulsechain AI. It's not coming up. I might have to turn on my VPN to pull it up. But yeah, he's definitely building some AI stuff for Pulsechain. So check out
he had
Kyle
mentioned
Cruz.
Yeah, he had mentioned a few weeks ago about going after like hex data and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yep.
There's so much that's going to be done. I mean, the pieces aren't all there yet, but at some point, somebody's going to do it. You know, you'll end up with a situation where it's going to have all the data, and you'll just be able to ask AI the questions without there having to be like a pre-stage per se of the data to get there. You know,
I like
just thinking in the back of my mind, like how I would actually do it. You know.
ChatGPT has some upgrades where you can have your own agent now and stuff like that. So you can definitely set it up so that you don't need to teach it every time all the data that you want it to parse. You can have that agent have that data and be like, okay, ChatGPT Hex agent, what happens if I do this staking ladder? And it will, it'll have the answer a lot quicker than if you had to feed it all the data beforehand each time.
Yeah, I would tell you this too. I think you've worked with AI a lot already, right? So particularly when I get into calculations with the AI, I will double check the data, and then I'll actually save the files and then feed the file back to it later so that it has the same starting point, because I find that it makes a lot of mistakes. Well, it can. Depends on the version I'm on, what I'm working with. Is it ChatGPT? Is it something else? But, I don't want to be putting out bad information based on, working with the AI. I got to become a little bit of an AI whisperer,
That works. The AI whisperer.
Whispering. What do you make about the pullback on prices?
Like in the market in general?
Yeah.
It's summertime, right? Like all the finance guys are on vacation, like realistically week to week stuff's mostly moving sideways. I'm not too concerned with what is Bitcoin today? Yeah, we have $113,000, almost $114,000 Bitcoin. It's like, is that really sad? Like, I don't find it that sad.
No.
So
well, looking at the charts, I think we're still right on target for how things should be progressing, at least range wise. There's still a lot of discussion about the about the top being in October, December this year, or is it into 26? And I don't know. What I've been saying to my consults is, hey, listen, just plan for both. Know what your plans are. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to understand it too in my own head. What is it you're trying to accomplish? And just plan for it. And you get the opportunity to accomplish it, then take the opportunity. And keep your hodl or whatever other for a longer term thing. But if you get the opportunity, there's no opportunity to come back. There's no guarantee it'll come back.
I think for Altseason, I feel like we're far from done, right? Like maybe we've seen Bitcoin top out, probably not, but like we almost certainly haven't seen Ethereum top out, and then the flow of Ethereum into altcoins, well, that's just really starting. So I feel like we have a good 6 months at the minimum where anything that's not Bitcoin or Ethereum could do very, very well.
Yeah, it's quite possible. It's quite possible. I mean, I'm kind of thinking, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, like I said, I'm planning for both, but we could see end of the DeFi summer type of thing here.
Could be.
DeFi September.
Yep. I think September is going to be hot. Like, finance guys come back to work, bank guys come back to work. Trump is talking about crypto. Maybe rates get cut, which is overall bullish for crypto. And September could be the month for all those things.
Yeah, they're making.
And then there's this marketing I've heard of that may happen for PulseChain right around September. So.
Oh yeah. Hey, so let's talk about that for a minute. The whole marketing thing.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about the marketing, and I know that it's going to get. PulseChain in front of a lot of eyes and HEX, etc. You might have been talking about a topic like this similar today, and one of your other streams, just about the maturity of people in the space and how they react to things.
Yep. Well, I think this market is maturity based.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx things. I don't want to sound negative. So I'll talk about what I'd like to do. Let's breathe into existence this. I recognize that anything with a significant effort of marketing gets more eyes on things with PulseChain and HEX is going to be a really positive thing. And so I hope that everybody embraces that idea. And even though it might not be the marketing approach you might take, or maybe it's not the one you agree with perfectly, just understand that overall, a lot of people are working very hard at making it happen. And
chances are, if you're already here, you are not the target of the marketing, right? So if you're like, hey, that wouldn't work on me, then like, good, because you're already here. I think this marketing is going to be targeted at people 50 plus who are affluent, who are very likely to respond to something that comes in the mail that's an electronic device that's interesting. They're going to look at it. They're going to tell their friends. They're going to show their grandkids, and we're going to get an effect. I can't say what that effect's going to be, but it will not be zero.
Yeah, it won't. It definitely won't be zero. But what I'd rather see is people get kind of like good ground support for the marketing effort and what needs to be done. And
what do you mean by that? What do you mean by ground support?
Yeah, meaning, and we have a more we're not going to be 100% unified, but a more unified community standing behind the effort rather than tearing it down.
Yep,
that's what I like.
And actually helping if you can, and there may be some opportunities for that to help with the the mailing, the packaging, unloading of trucks.
There's people that are physically volunteering to do that help, not to mention financially, et cetera, so.
Yep.
They have that going on. All right, boy. What else you got that you want to talk about? I'll tell you, I observed some pretty, I know I asked you, I'm just going to speak over you, so go ahead.
I thought it was worth noting that the prices for the two Power City liquidity forks, Flex and Earn, have done massive flexes in the past week. We're talking like 100% plus up in their price. Yep. So I thought that was positive. So that's liquidity fork nice. Representing with HEX's collateral for Flex, or with PulseX for collateral with Earn. Both the prices of their staking token, which is Flex and Earn token, over the past week, 2 weeks, they're up probably over 100% on both. So that's bullish to me.
Oh, very nice. That's somewhat related to the topic I was going to bring up. We've seen, we had this pump that took place over the last couple of weeks, where market went haywire for a little bit, went really good. Things were looking really up, and now we're kind of doing this little retrace here. During that period, we saw, a 7 to 10x of volumes, right, on chain. And so how it's related to that is what I saw was a significant increase in trading of stables, like extremely.
Yep.
You know, and of course that affects the you know, the amount of you know, fees that people earn through that stuff, etc. And you know, a lot of people don't have a plan. And one of the things I'd be saying to people is, you know, you got to figure out what your, you know, your plan might be just to hold forever. That's okay,
Sure.
right? I mean, that's your plan. You do that. It might be that you plan to take some profits during this run up or whatever, and then carry the rest over. Some people, I've actually heard a few people say they're just completely out. They're done with crypto here. In any case, none of that's going to happen by chance, right? So you got to have to push some buttons. And I, you know, just again reiterate, make up a plan. What are your plans? How do you actually plan to do this? Have you ever done it before? You know, like I hear a lot of people touting V3, V3, V3. You know, V3 out. What the hell does that even mean? You know, now I know what it means. I know it means I'm put my token at a price just above the current price, let the market come to me, buy into my position. But I don't think a lot of people understand that doesn't exactly mean that happens instantly, you know?
Yep. It doesn't happen instantly, and there are mistakes that could be made with that plan. So if you've never done it before and that's your plan, start doing some smaller tests now, please.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point, right? Because I've seen even a few weeks ago, and you know, I see people make mistakes on V3 and they push the button and they lose all their tokens because they didn't set the position up right. Now, probably a lot of people, they were going to do a V3. They're going to set it up in such a way that it's already one that's been created, the price is already synced and all that kind of stuff, right? But not always, not always. You know, in any case, so we have you know, you just want to be careful with that type of stuff. And so knowing how to do it's pretty important. I'm kind of guessing that most people are going to be like pushing the button at some point and just be like, forget it, I'm just going to market sell, you know, and that might not be the best way out of position, you know. So
V3 is a
anyways,
good
just
way
bringing that.
if you understand what you're doing, right? Like, but like, learn how to do it. Do it with, you know, $50 a day. Like, because like the obvious problem would be like, yeah, you're the first person in a position and you put in the wrong numbers and you could get arbitraged by a bot and lose half your bag. But like the bigger thing might actually be that if you do it wrong, you could retard the price of what you're trying to sell out of without affecting the chart.
Yeah,
Right?
and
Like,
that's the other side, right? You know.
yeah, like V3 sell walls are not beneficial to the community. So if you make a softer V3 position with a 50%, 100% range, then you know you might end up making more money, and you're going to be able to do a lot better for the community as far as keeping that price up.
Yeah, sometimes people put a sell wall in like that on purpose, you know, to purposely suppress the price. But I think most users just don't realize it. Yeah,
Totally.
don't realize that that's what the case, or don't care. Maybe there's that too. But there are a lot of tools that are out there right now. Like I've been testing the LPX with the UpX guys, and that approach. The thing about it, again, I just keep coming back to, like, in my head, like if somebody thought they were coming in with let's just say they came in with $1,000 and they got their 1000X, and now that they got their $1 million worth of tokens, right? How are you getting out of that? Right? Like, I'll put it in V2. Well, you ain't never getting out of a V2 100%, right? Because it's just going to move with the market, and a V2 is forever, right? You just changing ratios. And then somebody says, well, I'll do a V3. Well, just like we were talking, you drop $1 million on one tick above somebody's token. Most tokens, maybe there's one token in the market here that it would
be
through it, but
something really big.
Most tokens, it just stop it for a while, right? Until it finally got through, you know?
And if it does get through, if it blasts through your 1% range that you put it in, then you probably sold too low. And so, you know, you would have been better off not selling it all in one go with 100% V3 range, or, you know, this much larger range, or using 3 different techniques. Like you were talking about, like putting some in something like LPX, some in V3 in a wider range, and then maybe looking at something like the Flux Exchange, where you can do different ratio pools, 90-10 liquidity, 90% of the token you want to sell, 10% of the token you want to get. You know, there's lots of ways to make sure that you hit your targets if you're willing to learn about the tech.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess what we're just trying to say is it's not just, hey, push a button and go, right? I mean, it could be market sell, but just so you guys know, and that's why having some sort of plan ahead of time probably makes more sense, you know.
And learn the skills, right? Because just the plan isn't enough if you've never pressed those buttons before.
All right. Little known fact, Kyle Cruz. This one's for you. Crispy, do you know who made Hex Daily Stats by chance? And I do. Big shout out to Gosh. Great guy who did a lot of work on that, right? A lot of backup help from Kodiak, the designer and implementer of COM, the dev behind Communis. And then I know those guys, but yeah, so that's where a lot of the information's coming from. That's where that's coming from. All right. Bigfoot's here. Watch out, guys. Hold on to your crypto. Frank White with a $4.99 super chat. How about that? I don't think it's a sticker, right? Super chat. Pulsechain loves you from Pulse Start. Thank you. We'll put that $4.99 to work. All right. And I guess some comments coming back here about the interest rate cut in September from, oh man, I'm going to get this name wrong. Is it, would you say Ayaz?
Ayaz?
Ayaz? All right. Well, anyways, friends, there will be an interest rate cut in September. That's why stock exchanges, institutions, whales are panic selling your Ethereum and XRP. Be alert, be patient for a month to get rich. You're probably right about that. All right. I see that coming as well. And everybody loves your lake view. In fact, I was going to cut and paste your picture and just cut you out and put myself up there.
Sure. I'll just send you a picture without me, and then you can use it as your background.
Yeah, I could do that. And then we'd be matching, you know, because I like that better. And Kyle's saying, I've been finding some awesome stuff that the OGs built, and I don't know if you mean the fabled OGs from the beginning of crypto or the more recent ones, but you think they're impressive, Kyle. I think that's good. There's a lot of good stuff out there. There is. What you got for us here?
So I got here at a Wild SJ posted this. She's got a contest going that's I believe backed by Rack and Michelle. 4 winners of $250 in Bitcoin. Yeah, which is cool. So, and then instructions for how you can win. She wants you to drop an image, like the post, and follow her. So check it out. A Wild SJ on Twitter. This is the lady that's basically putting together our massive, never before seen marketing. So yeah, pay her some respect, follow her, do what you can to help.
Thank you. And thank you, AJSJ. I always call her AJ. A Wild SJ for that. I'm going to see her this week on Thursday, I hope. Maybe not. On stream.
Okay.
Let's see. I tried that LPX. This is just live. Like playing with things because if I recommend something to somebody, I want to know what I'm doing. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. Yep. Just live. I'm in there. I'm testing those LPXs. For those who don't know, LPX means LPX. So there's no definition to it other than it is a market making contract with settings. And so what it's set up so that presumably what it'll do is it'll buy highs, sell highs and buy lows. It has no trade zone in the middle. And in that way, it makes a profit. But it's been interesting to watch it operate. But again, I brought it up a few moments ago. We were talking about V2, V3, because it's not a fast process either. Right? I mean, the only thing that's almost instantaneous is doing a market sell. And that may not be the best way to get out of something without slippage. I mean, there's a reason people have this saying about clicking buttons, right? You know, if you want minimal slippage and get more value out, you know, you got to treat, the blockchain with some care and some gentleness. You can't be, unless it's your goal to make it volatile. You can't be dropping your whole thing right at one point. You do small amounts to make sure you get the slippage. Let the pools refill and get small slippage. But who has time for 200 transactions, right? So there's a lot that goes on with it. But yeah, I'm with you, Just Live. Thank you for mentioning that. It's good. Wall-to-wall TV. I haven't been in there to look at it. About 6 months for a non-profit approval to mail out. Blah blah blah. Don't know. It looks like you might be talking about 6 months for the non-profit to be approved. Maybe that's true. I don't know.
Could be. But even if it was 6 months for the nonprofit to do the mail out, they could still do it without it being a nonprofit. It would just cost more.
Is that what's happening? Okay.
I don't know whether that's the case or not, but I do know that nonprofits basically get a half price from USPS, right? So if you can run it through a nonprofit, your mailing costs are cut in half. I'm not paying the mailing costs, so I'm not terribly worried about it.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm not paying the mailing costs either, but somebody is, right? So it is real value that's going out in that. So. Hexagon Lost in Asia is talking about, I'm testing Validator X, which is another protocol from those other guys. Never trust but verify often. Yeah, 100%. And this is crypto, guys. You need, trust. Yeah. Okay, verify definitely. In DeFi, assume you're being scammed until proven otherwise. Now, that being said, I've been testing that Validator X, but I've been talking about that for a while. I mean, I started with it in the beginning of the year. I think it was in February, maybe, when it launched. Might have been a little bit earlier than that. But anyways, it's been working pretty good. It runs a little bit more hot in terms of APR than regular, So than regular just validating. So it gives a compounding effect, and at times it's been as high as 25% APR. So that's been pretty good.
Cool. I think there's Validator X, there's Vouch, and there's Project Pi. Like, we have 3 liquid staking options on PulseChain. Different people will have their favorites. You should definitely check it out. And remember Richard's advice from today on his tweet that you can use a condom wallet to separate things from your main wallet. Don't go on your main wallet. It's not a bad idea with anything.
Yeah, I could come up with a whole bunch of condom jokes, but I'm just going to say I agree with you. And just Live is saying, hey, where is permission removal? There was a link to it on GoPulse. Rabby has one if you're using Rabby Wallet. And then where else can people go? Do you remember?
I got a screen to share here if you want.
All right, let's do that. Forget the name of the site.
This is revoke.cash.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's been around for quite a while, and all it does is revoking approvals on your wallet on multiple chains. I believe Pulsechain is included, and it, aside from the gas cost, it costs you nothing to revoke an approval. So if you want to do it once a month, it's not terrible. Obviously different people are going to have different risk tolerances, but revoke.cash is the place to go.
Yeah, very good. All right, we had one other question maybe that was in here about NFTs. Do we like NFTs?
We like financial NFTs, like HSIs.
I like pretty NFTs.
I like the monkey pictures too. Yeah, I'm kind of bullish on the Pulsechain copies of the actual Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs. They're kind of cool. They're the exact same ones copied to Pulsechain. There's actually more of them on Ethereum than there'll ever be on Pulsechain, and they are copies of the official NFT. So for quite a bit less, I have a couple of those.
Yeah, no, there you go. See, I think it was Falcon that brought it up. Maybe this is the question.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Pulse Market is the big place for NFTs on Pulsechain.
Yeah, Pulse Market, right?
Yeah,
Mintra, of course.
App.
And Mintra's out there, of course, too.
It is. It doesn't do the volume though. Almost all the volume's running through PulseMarket.app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for myself, I've got a number of different NFTs, some that have been gifted to me. And then I like that 404 Mon project. I've covered that a couple times. And then, of course, in the anti-gravity space, which
Yeah.
is another one that's dark, and the fuel cells, I kind of like that science fiction-y stuff. And then, those types of things. So I got a couple of different exposures, but not a lot. So what you got here? It looks like Pulse Market.
This is it's the Pulse Market. So it's got yeah, all the things you just talked about, I'm pretty sure are here. And there's yeah, there's always something new coming up here.
Oh,
So
look at
if
that.
you're into NFTs. Yeah.
404 Mon right up there.
That one? Yeah. This may not load without me turning on my VPN. Because I'm on the satellite, it doesn't like certain things for my ambiguous Elon Musk satellite code. But yeah, it'll have the 404 Mon NFTs. It'll have the copied Bored Ape Yacht Club. It'll have even Watsas are on here, like Icosa Watsas. There's lots of like all the good stuff is on the site. So I find them to be an easy enough place to use, and you can also just use it as a utilitarian thing. So if you want to transfer an NFT from one wallet to another, you can use this site to do that, because sometimes that can be difficult for people to be like, I know I have an NFT in here, but what is the contract number? You can go to the site, you find your NFT, and there's a utility to transfer it to a different wallet.
Right,
So
do it right off the site.
I use it for stuff like that too.
All right, I have to go look at Pulse Market. I've been there a bunch of times with the 404s. Trying to think, I had a couple of the ones. I had like Orange Groves, of course, HSIs. I don't know. I have to go look and see. I really think I think NFTs are still untapped market. Now, some people say it's over, but guys, I got to tell you, man, when Crypto Case came out, nobody knew what the hell that shit was when it came out, and we were all pretty much sure after that, that run, that NFTs were gone, but they came back. And so perhaps it's just this could be another, reinvention of NFTs and how they can be used. But I think there's a place for them for sure. And maybe not in the previous format. But is that a duck?
Yeah, it's a duck.
Is that a duck?
It's making lots of noise by me, so I was like, let's check it out.
We can't.
This thing's like my rear view mirror.
I was hoping you were going to show me a beaver, but hey.
Some days, I'll show you a beaver one day, I'm sure. They're not uncommon.
Yeah, they're pretty uncommon over here in the States. All right, brother. I don't know. I think I'm about done. I'm kind of like burnt. But anything you want to close out with before we go?
I think we've covered the most important stuff here today. I think the main thing for people to do is just stick in there and keep supporting the community, right? So that means the Pulsechain Conference we talked about, as well as RH Max's 5 days at HEX. Share that stuff, people. Comment, like, share, all the stuff. And the same thing for good streamers like myself and Crispy Man here. Please share the X.
Yeah, make sure you share the stuff about the X. Like, subscribe, share it around. You guys have a great rest of the week. And you know what I like to say? I like to stay crispy.